They said she was nothing but a thief, a poor maid who dared to steal from the rich. Fired. Humiliated. Shamed. But when the CEO decided to review the security footage, what he saw didn't just expose a lie, it exposed a truth so powerful, it brought an entire company to tears. You won't believe what this young maid was hiding. It was a rainy Tuesday evening. The kind that soaked into your bones and reminded you just how cold the world could be, especially if you were poor. Maria stood barefoot on the marble kitchen tiles of the Bernard's luxurious mansion, clutching a plastic wrap of leftover chicken. Her hands trembled, not from fear, but from the deep hunger that screamed inside her for her little brother. She hadn't eaten since morning, but it wasn't for her. It never was. Maria! The voice cut through the silence like a whip. Mrs. Bernard stormed into the kitchen, her heels clicking angrily on the floor. Her eyes locked on the foil in Maria's hand. "What is that in your hand?" she demanded, narrowing her eyes. Maria hesitated. "Ma. It's just the leftover food from lunch. Your children said I could take it. My brother, he's sick, and..." Slap! The sound echoed across the kitchen. "Thief! So you've been stealing from us, you wretched girl. I knew it. You poor rats always pretend to be innocent." Maria stumbled back, her cheeks stinging red, tears welling in her eyes, not from the slap, but from the shame. The chef peeked from the pantry, saying nothing. The guards outside looked away. No one stood up for her. Not one. "But the kid said I could take it," Maria whispered. "You think I care what children say? This is my house." Mrs. Bernard barked. "You've been eating our food behind our backs. You think I'm stupid? Please, Ma, I swear. Get out." Before she could finish, 2 guards entered, dragging Maria out like a criminal. No time to explain. No dignity left. Outside, the rain had started again, heavier now. Maria stood on the porch, soaking wet, clutching the now squashed foil of chicken. One of the guards muttered, "I'm sorry," but he still closed the gate behind her. She didn't go home. She went to the clinic. To her brother, lying on a wooden bench with a high fever, waiting for something warm to eat. She unwrapped the chicken and placed it before him. He looked at her with weak eyes. "Did you eat anything today, Maria?" She smiled softly. "I'll eat later. You eat first." That night, as thunder cracked the sky, Maria curled up beside him on the floor, jobless, shamed, and hungry. And inside the mansion she once cleaned, no one gave her a second thought. Not until someone did. 3 days passed. In the mansion, Maria's name had already faded into silence, replaced by gossip and shallow laughter. But in the office tower of Bernard Holdings, something unexpected happened. "Sir, may I speak with you for a moment?" a timid voice interrupted the CEO's meeting. Mr. Thomas Bernard, sharp-suited and feared by all, raised his eyes from the conference table. "Make it quick." It was Caleb, the mansion's longtime security guard. He looked nervous, clutching his cap tightly. "It's about the maid, Maria." The room fell quiet. "What about her?" "She was fired 3 days ago. Mrs. Bernard said she stole food." "But sir, I saw what happened. And I think you should see something." Thomas narrowed his eyes. "Are you saying my wife made a mistake?" Caleb hesitated. "No, sir. I'm just saying, the security cameras caught everything. And I think you'll want to watch it." The other executives exchanged glances. This wasn't just unusual, it was unheard of. No one ever challenged Mrs. Bernard, not even Thomas. But something in Caleb's voice held weight, a quiet urgency. Later that afternoon, Thomas sat alone in the surveillance room. The footage loaded slowly, time-stamped 3 days earlier. There was Maria, wiping the counters, her hands moving fast but careful. She looked tired. Thin. Then, the camera caught the moment she glanced at the chicken on the table, hesitated, and quietly wrapped it. Thomas leaned forward. Then came the part no one mentioned, Maria looking around, taking a napkin, and writing something. The camera caught her sliding a tiny note under a fruit bowl on the table. Thomas quickly paused the footage. "What is that?" he whispered. He sent a staff member to retrieve the note from the kitchen. It was still there. Crumpled. Untouched. The handwriting was shaky but legible. "Please forgive me for taking the food. My brother is very sick, and I haven't been paid in 2 months. I don't mean to steal. I just don't want him to die. Please forgive me. Maria." Thomas stared at the note. His jaw clenched. 2 months, he muttered. Why didn't anyone tell me she hadn't been paid? The room felt colder now. He pressed play again. The slap. The shouting. The guards dragging her out. The silence of the staff who knew the truth. Thomas rose from his chair slowly. His voice low but firm. "Find her." The rain fell hard that night, turning the streets into rivers and the sky into a wall of noise. Thomas Bernard sat in the back seat of his black SUV, eyes locked on the window, not really seeing anything. He had sent his team out hours ago to find Maria, but they came back empty. "She's gone, sir. Probably back to her village," one assistant had said. But Thomas didn't accept that. Something inside him, maybe guilt, maybe something deeper, wouldn't let him rest. Then, just as they turned a corner near the old market district, the driver hit the brakes hard. "Sir, look!" There she was. Sitting by the side of the road, completely soaked. Hair clinging to her face, arms wrapped around her knees. She was holding a small nylon bag to shield a little boy, her brother, from the rain. He coughed violently in her lap. Thomas opened the door and stepped out into the downpour. Maria looked up, eyes wide in disbelief, trembling. "Yes, sir?" She stammered, unsure if this was a dream or a punishment. He knelt beside her, ignoring the rain, ignoring the cars, ignoring everything. "Why didn't you tell me?" His voice cracked. "Why didn't anyone tell me?" She could barely speak. Her lips quivered. "I didn't want pity. I just wanted to work." Thomas looked at the boy, shivering, thin, burning with fever. "Get them in the car." Now, he told his driver. That night, Thomas didn't take them to the mansion. He took them straight to the hospital, the best in the city. Doctors rushed in. Falls were hooked. Warm blankets wrapped the boy like hope itself. Maria just stood there, stunned, silent, tears running down her face with no attempt to wipe them. And as Thomas sat beside her in the waiting room, drenched and quiet, he said words no one expected from a CEO that powerful. "Maria. I'm sorry." She looked at him, confused. "You were failed. Not just by my wife. By me. By this house. By everyone who saw and said nothing." And for the first time, Maria didn't feel like a maid. She felt seen. Like and follow for part 2 because what happens next will shock you, and also share and make sure to comment part 2 in the comment section.